Hello and welcome to Module 2 of this completely free coaching series brought to you by Coaching Project and me, Stuart Alexander. As per the instructions in the email I sent you, I hope you have a pen and paper to hand to make any notes that you need. Just pause the presentation as necessary. Also, please watch the presentation in full screen mode. Click on the rectangular icon in the bottom right of the video box. Okay, let's get started. The title for this module is Motivational Goal Setting, so we'll be starting to take charge of our futures. Why do we set goals? It seems that everybody who is a success does so. You hardly hear from a sports star or business leader without them relating how they set out their goals for achievement. Can you imagine how much research goes into what makes people successful? If you could come up with the exact recipe, what do you think you could sell it for? Exactly, you could name your price. So many studies have been undertaken regarding the effectiveness of goal setting, and not surprisingly, findings say it works. One of my favourites was an original. In the 1950s, a Harvard professor interviewed 100 undergraduate students at the university. And bearing in mind the location, we know these bright young people had great potential in their futures. He found only 3 had set, written out plans for their careers. He then waited 20 years before re-interviewing the subjects. He found that the 3 had accumulated more wealth than the other 97 put together. Now, when you publish statistics like that, especially with money involved, people take notice. So in our project, we need to do this for certain. We're going to start taking control of our thoughts. We can't do this all of the time, that wouldn't be feasible, but we are certainly going to focus our thoughts on our goals regularly through the day. We're going to start making our TEAM acronym work for us. By setting our goals, we are going to start planning our futures. I'm fairly certain we all want bright futures, and this is where to start. Interestingly, in these difficult economic times, goals may be to maintain our current style of living. This, of course, will be desirable when compared to others who may be going backwards. Largely, though, goals will be set to encourage progress and improvement. This is a very important concept. I often ask groups when they are most motivated, and answers generally include when a big event is on the horizon or there is opportunity for financial reward for tasks undertaken. People usually consider motivation to be a positive, but it isn't necessarily. When the alarm goes off and you whack it, roll over and go back to sleep, you are highly motivated. If you sit on a sofa all afternoon and watch television, you are highly motivated. You may be highly motivated to drink too much, eat junk food and take drugs. We are motivated at all times, not just in positive directions. Setting goals and of course sticking to them helps make our motivated actions more positive. In our situation here, maybe the most important reason is to start change. The very opposite of avoiding change that we discussed in the last module. So let's discuss goal setting in detail. We can start off by considering this famous acronym, SMART. If you have ever attended any courses or read any books regarding or requiring goal setting, you probably will have come across SMART. It is widely used and very useful. So let's explore the letters. S is for specific. A well-set goal cannot be ill-defined or general in nature. Phrases such as I want to lose weight or I want to improve at golf are no use. They are not specific. We need to know how much weight or to what degree we wish to improve. M is for measurable. This letter supports the first, as using a term, generally numeric, means a goal becomes both specific and measurable. We can now use I want to lose 10 pounds in weight, or I want to improve my golf handicap by 5 shots. A is for adjustable. Those who have seen SMART before may be questioning this letter. This is due to the fact that there are a few variations used here. I have seen achievable and attainable, but I see these as too close to the next letter we will use, and also adjustable has added value. A goal may go off course for reasons beyond our control. Physical injury could interrupt both the weight loss goal, if gym work is a key component, and the golf handicap goal. Life priorities and situations can therefore change unexpectedly, and an adjustment to a goal may be advisable, as the alternative will be to give up completely and in essence fail. Adjustments will be applied to the numbers we have used so far. R is for realistic. A goal has to be within the bounds of possibility. Otherwise, we are just setting ourselves up for a fall. The level of the goal should stretch you, but it mustn't break you. You can now see my objection to achievable and attainable. They are basically the same as realistic. What is realistic is for you to decide, and you can use our next letter to help in this regard. T is for time traceable. An amount of time needs to be applied to a goal. There is no point setting a weight loss goal without an end date, or you will be continually able to put off the required action. The T also allows for longer term goal setting, which can make a goal more realistic. I want to be a millionaire in 1 year might be unrealistic for a new school leaver, but if the goal is in 10 years, then why not? The T also serves as a way of checking the progress of your goal. If you wanted to lose 10 pounds in 2 months, then how are you doing after 2 weeks or a month? By using SMART, we can ensure that our goals are effectively worded and therefore far more motivational. Let's move on. We now need to set up our action plan. This will include setting the goals themselves and also planning how to succeed. Goals without an action plan are just hot air. New Year's resolutions are usually consigned to the trash by February, as few bother to work out how to achieve them. This is well explained by the philosophy that becoming a millionaire takes just 3 steps. 1. Have a good idea. 2. Work out the sacrifices required. 3. Make those sacrifices. Most of us at some point have the first, but less work out the second, and very few take the action required. Hence, millionaires are still fairly rare. So how do we set our goals and plan effectively? My advice is to set 3 goals with different time spans. There are 2 ways that this is effective. Firstly, short-term goal, lose 6 pounds in a month. Medium-term goal, lose 9 pounds in 2 months. Long-term goal, lose 12 pounds in 6 months. The amount per month here is reducing as weight loss gets progressively harder. The same principle could be applied to the golf handicap. 2 shots, 3 shots and 5 shots over the same time frames. There is a real benefit to stretching goals over longer periods. Weight loss is fairly easy over a short term, but can you keep it off for over 6 months? By then, if you are successful, then your habits will have changed and be well reinforced. You may well stay at your target weight for a long time. Secondly, we may have unrelated goals which create a pathway to the end goal. For instance, if you wish to be managing director, you may set as goals: finish MBA studies in 1 year, have worked in 3 different departments of the company within 3 years, achieve promotion to MD in 5 years. Now for the action plan. Firstly, we need to identify what we must be able to do to achieve the goal. In the first example of one goal broken into 3 parts, then one statement will cover all 3 time spans. For example, I must be able to regulate my calorie intake to an average of 2,000 a day and have a regimented gym routine. Or, I must be able to hit 50% of fairways and have no more than 32 putts per round on average. For the second example, where we are creating a pathway, we would need 3 statements. I must pass the exams with average marks of 85% to gain a distinction. I must have gained the required experience and distinguished myself in each department. I must have gained the respect and recognition as a candidate from the board and have demonstrated myself to be the best choice. Now we must identify what you can do to make these things happen, again with the same examples. I will identify the calorific content of the foods that I will eat on the diet and create a new shopping list. I will also schedule 4 gym visits a week. For the golfer, I will have a lesson a week with the Golf Club Pro, and I will also start to record the statistics for the rounds I play. And for the MD in waiting, I will arrange a set amount of time for study and maintain close contact with my tutors. I will book a week's leave prior to the exams. I will make it known I wish to work in different areas of the company and why, and I will apply for each role as it becomes available. I will work on nurturing relationships with the board members while dedicating myself to the company and its ideals. The above are simple examples. Each person for each goal will have entirely separate action plans. It may also be the case that each goal needs more than one must be able to do and what you can do statements. Finally, you must identify something that can be done immediately. Buy a book with food calorie values, book the first lesson, start your time planning, whatever it is, do it now. Procrastinating is a killer for goal achievement, and certainly the quicker the start, the sooner you see results and be more motivated to continue and succeed. Goal setting and action planning is a serious business. I once coached a client for 3 months before he was satisfied with his goals and plans. This for him was time well spent, as he was planning for a 10-year span of his career. Okay, we move on again. Now we're going to add power to your goals, and we will use another acronym. I promise you that this is the third and the last in the series. As with team, this is my creation, so you won't find it anywhere else. We will use Victor, the winner, which is exactly who you would like to be. V is for visualize. A visualization is in essence a thought. So we are starting here in the same place as with team, except this time we are controlling the thoughts we are having. We need to see the end result once our goals are achieved. See ourselves being slimmer, better at golf, being the MD. Visualization is as prevalent in the commentaries of successful people as goal setting. Many will talk of actively creating images of themselves as champions of sport or industry, or having notably achieved in life in some way. It's a great mental technology that we need to use. A word of advice: focus as much time on seeing yourself working through the process as you do seeing the end result. It's a complicated motivational issue, but if you experience too much pleasure in the visualization of success, your subconscious may ask, why bother with the reality of the hard work? So, see yourself working hard too. I is for introduce emotion. Again, we have a correlation with team, where emotions follow uncontrolled thoughts. Here, we are actively going to introduce emotion into our visualizations and also the reality of the small successes along the way. This will give you great power to your goals, as experiencing pride and pleasure are hugely positively motivational. C is for chart for confidence. We're going to cover confidence in depth in the next module. For here we need to understand that injecting confidence into our lives will positively impact on the chances of success. T is for take action. Again, we can correlate with the A in team, but of course this time the actions are controlled and desirable. Whenever considering our goals, take some action. Diarise an activity, make a call, review a plan, but act in accordance with those goals and do it immediately. We are now considering the results of our actions and what we should do about them under the headings of outcomes and responses. Whatever happens, as we are working hard towards our goals, we must be aware and do something about it. If you have set challenging goals, you are highly likely to encounter setbacks or out-and-out failures along the way. You have two choices: quit or do something about it. Using the same recipe when all it brings is difficulty clearly isn't going to work. So adapt, and quickly. As Einstein said, insanity is doing the same things and expecting to get different results. We have now reached the end of this module, and you are now in a position to write your goals, create an action plan, and become the victor. In the next module, we will be exploring issues of confidence building. I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you.